Hello, people of the future. So, I know my videos aren't exactly traditional so far. They're either a challenge or I label it karaoke and then talk half of the video. But today, I'm gonna share a story with you guys because no one told me what they want me to do. Anyway, I'm going to tell you how I got a concussion for the first time. But first, I'm going to show you how my leg is doing here. Isn't that just doing beautifully? It's no longer an open wound. Doesn't look that great, but it's not an open wound anymore. Yay! Anyway. I was in 7th grade, and behind our school, there is blacktop, obviously. It's like tar stuff. It's really hard. And if you fall, it's not very forgiving. But, I was friends with this guy at the time. No, we didn't date. No, I didn't like him that way or anything like that. No, just no. But, we were kind of playing tag, and I was running away, and I wanted to make sure I could see where he was, so I was running backwards away from him. And you know how sometimes when you're running backwards, like, your momentum's faster than the speed your feet can follow? So my feet couldn't keep up with my momentum, and I ended up falling backwards on this blacktop, and I hit my head. Just the back of my head hit the blacktop. My eyes automatically closed. When I opened like there was this crowd of people around me. I couldn't really hear voices. They were all just kind of like not being able to hear very well. Like I could kind of hear them, but I couldn't actually hear what they were saying. My vision was kind of blurred, and everything came into focus like a snap, and all the sound came back like in a movie, those dramatic parts. So that happened, which was very scary. So obviously, I was immediately sent to the nurse, and my head really hurt. And I get there, and I explained to her everything that happened because my entire body had gone numb for a few, and I was really terrified. And she's like, "Oh yeah, you're fine. Just go back to lunch. There's no bump." And I'm like, "Just go to lunch. Yeah, it's okay." So I'm like, "Okay, sure, yeah. She doesn't think there's anything wrong. I can totally trust our nurse, right?" Anyway, so I go to lunch. And this was back when I would have those Crustables. They're these, like, round peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. They come in packages, and you put them in the fridge or the freezer. And you open them, and they're like pie crust sort of bread, no crust on them, but it's just got like that indented. And they're awesome, and I love them. And I had like maybe 2 nibbles of one, and I don't remember what else I ate, but I didn't eat much. And, because I wasn't feeling very good, also, obviously. But in this eye, there was just part of my vision had just this streak of gray and like this weird lightning bolt shape. And I've always been afraid of losing my vision because I've got eye problems. And, not like, oh, I need glasses type of problems, just like it's a possibility for me to go blind. So that always scares me. And so here I am suddenly having a problem with my vision, and I'm like terrified sitting at this table. Luckily, my friends noticed, and I ended up going back to the nurse because I needed to go back. So I ended up asking the teacher. I went back to the nurse, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you're fine. You're just scared. You're telling me that my vision is messed up because I'm scared." I believed her. I bought it. I convinced myself, yeah, I'm just scared. There's nothing for me to worry about. You see, what had caused me to be so terrified at that moment was because I'd read a book not too long before then, and in this book, her and her mom had gotten into like this sort of car accident sort of thing, and she'd flown back, and the back of her head hit a tree. And I learned in that book, and this is a fact, I'm pretty sure, the back of your head is like the part that controls your vision and stuff. So I had hit the back of my head really hard. So that's why I was so terrified when my vision went all weird. Then, so that was terrifying in itself. And she's like, oh no, you're fine. There's no bump. You're totally fine. You can go back to class if you want to. And of course, being me, loving reading and all things reading, I loved language arts because that day was library and all we had to do all day was read. And I was so prepared to do this. So I go to class and hello, Abby.
Hi.
Hi.
Are you making a video?
Yes. Come join me. Oh, thank you. Peppermint ate my charger.
I always make sure to wear a bra.
True.
That's just me.
No, don't worry. I always have it where they can't see a thing, Abby.
Just saw that though. You bent over.
I went over the top of the screen. My camera. I always review the video.
Okay, good.
Make sure it's
Make
appropriate.
sure the cats don't eat my.
Yeah. I'm being careful. Don't worry.
Why do they keep eating yours?
It's only Peppermint. Peppermint loves my room. She gets bored in the middle of the night. She gets hungry, so she eats my charger. This is the
What happens
second
if you
time.
change it?
It changes the setting.
Like the boobs get bigger?
No. You see the crack down the middle of the bus?
Yeah.
Yeah, that widens.
Can I just
For
do it real
measure-
quick?
Sure, you can try it.
Oh.
Try the other way. You push in and you turn.
Holy cow.
Yeah. She's messing with my thing I use for sewing.
Bye. There you go. I'm leaving you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Anyway. We're at part with. Oh yeah, so I get back and I'm like, okay, all I have to do is read. Nurse says I'm fine. At this point in time, I'm having a really difficult time listening to the teacher because like I am just so nauseous. And all I can focus on is not throwing up. And I think it was before? No, it was after we went upstairs. So we went upstairs and we were in the library. All we had to do was read. I had my book. I loved this book and I wanted to read it. And I was trying so hard to read this No, it was just a random book, I think. No, it was my book. I don't remember what book it was. I was trying so hard to read it, and I couldn't read it without, like, totally having really hard difficulties with it. So I'm just like, you know what? I ended up just staring, pretending to read with this book. And I was too scared to tell a teacher. I'm not a very confrontational person when it comes to teachers. People, I can probably stand up to most people. I'm not very scared of children my own age or people slightly younger. There are certain people that I just can't stand up to, you know? Most people have that problem. But, anyway, so I was having this really hard problem. Finally, it was time to go back downstairs to class. They were playing silent ball, where you throw a ball across the room, you can't speak or anything like that, and you just gotta catch it, and you throw it again. That's pretty much silent ball. Well, actually, you can, like, I don't think you're allowed to speak. Some people do. It's not really a big issue there. But, yeah, I just typed in the wrong password. Anyway, oh, I missed half my password that time. But anyway, there we go. Anyway, you know, I wasn't feeling well, so I decided not to play because that was an option. You didn't have to play. And so I was sitting out, focusing so hard on not throwing up, and I'm like, I can't do it anymore. I'm gonna throw up. I go to get up and go to the trash can. There are these people blocking my way. I end up throwing up. Like, I didn't realize I was gonna throw up yet. I went to get up and go to the trash can. I threw up, like, big time on the floor. So, needless to say, I got resent to the nurse's office with, like, a plastic bag or something. And, basically, I ended up getting sent home, and she told me to go home and take a nap. I don't know if you guys know anything about concussions, but the number one thing is not to go to sleep. Because if you go to sleep, you might never wake up. I'm not kidding. It's not good to sleep. So my mom is out of town somewhere on an appointment, of course, that day. So my grandpa comes and he picks me up, and he's got a bowl in the car. So I'm holding this bowl, hoping I don't throw up in his car. I'm holding this plastic bag as well. And we get home eventually, and I didn't throw up in the car, thank goodness. But we get home, and we just have to wait for my parents to get home and see what we're gonna do after that, basically. So I'm sitting on the couch here, okay, right? And I end up throwing up again. And I am so tired after this because concussions, they make you tired, but you aren't allowed to fall asleep because it could be deadly. So, sorry, I'm picking at a chocolate stain. I left a melted Tootsie Roll on my bed, and so now there's a whole bunch of chocolate stuck to my bed. Lovely, right? But anyway, so, I'm sitting on this couch, and my grandpa, he's notorious for falling asleep because he's an older man. He's really nice, but he falls asleep a lot. So that's not really a good person to watch, someone who can't fall asleep. So he's sitting at the table doing, I don't remember what, and I'm sitting on this couch, and I'd already thrown up again. And I was sitting there holding the now empty bowl, and I don't know how this happened, but I ended up, like, pretty much, I just accidentally fallen asleep, and the bowl, because my arm had let go of it, I knocked it to the floor. It made a giant bang. Me and my grandpa both woke up at the same time. And then I was, like, very much so avoiding falling asleep after that, which was a good thing. Definitely a good thing of avoiding that. So my parents get home. I told them how I'd thrown up like 3 or 4 times by then. I ended up getting taken to the ER where I met the nurse for the high school. I had to think about when my birthday was. And normally it's just like, boom, I know exactly when my birthday is. And I had to think, which really scared my mom. So I have a CAT scan, and I love my cat. And so my mom and I joke around saying, darn it, they're scanning my cat, and I don't have my cat here. We were joking about how we should have brought my cat, and they were scanning my cat without my cat, and, how they could just scan my cat instead of me. We were joking around to kind of ease the tension. It worked. It was awesome. So that's kind of like, I guess, an inside joke now. There's a fly buzzing around. But, anyway, so my brain wasn't all that bad. It turned out it was just like a mild concussion, and I was allowed to go to bed that night, and I'm like, yes. But I had this giant bump on the back of my head, and it's just like, how did my nurse miss this? We have a very big joke going around our school about our nurse, or we did, because every single person who went there, she'd pretty much just give them a cough drop or an ice pack to heal everything. I mean, literally, there's one girl who went down there, she had thrown up, and the nurse didn't send her home. I'm pretty sure they said she gave her a cough drop, and we're just like, yes, this happens. So literally everyone makes fun of our nurse. And the funniest thing happened. The 6th grader gave a special award to the nurse saying how awesome she was. And the entire 8th grade population was trying not to laugh. It was so funny. But, yes, so that is the story of when I got my first concussion. With an interruption from my sister. But that is what happens when you're still a child. Goodbye, my time travelers. I hope this was enjoyable